And Rob Parker, of course, there's a lot of talk when you look at this AFC title game between the Ravens and the Chiefs about the quarterbacks. Probably you'd say right now the two best players in the league. Mahomes is the best player, quarterback, and Lamar is having the best season and is likely to win his second MVP. The only question really, Rob, seems to be, will he win it unanimously? But here was Lamar, he's obviously being asked about the matchup with Mahomes, and here he is.
I don't like competing against him at all. But yeah, he's a great quarterback. Definitely a Hall of Famer. It's not even it's a no-brainer. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I believe it's just two greats, up-and-coming greats, just going toe-to-toe, like a heavyweight fight.
All right. Well, he certainly is a Hall of Famer. And the question, though, and we're really not a question, Rob, we would both say Lamar Jackson's a Hall of Famer, too. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. If you do something that nobody else has ever done, and that's what he is on the verge of doing when he wins another MVP.
If he's unanimous, yeah.
And two before, what is it, 27? Or two at 27?
He'd be the youngest. He would be the youngest by 9 months to Patrick Mahomes.
But you see what I'm saying? Like there's a couple things that you start to look at when you look at the NFL and the history of it and who did this and who did that. And it's those kind of things that separate you. Obviously, if he wins a Super Bowl 2 or another one, Chris, or 3, then you're talking about, all-time great. There are plenty of guys. Marv Levy went to 4 Super Bowls as a coach. He's in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? We talk about it all the time. Eli Manning's going to make the Hall of Fame whether people want to or not. He beat Tom Brady in that 18-0 Patriots team, Chris. Beat Brady in them twice, had 2 signature throws, had all kinds of, there's all kinds of stuff that will get him there, despite the regular seasons that weren't great. I just think Lamar's
regular seasons, he's basically a 500 quarterback.
Right. But he was big in big moments against some of the great all-time great teams.
I agree with you. I think Eli will be in. I would say this, though, Rob. I think he's going to be in because he did it in New York. Now, you do have a great argument. He did beat Tom Brady. Twice, right?
Yeah.
And so that adds to it. But I think the biggest thing for him is he did it in New York. And, New York, everything is magnified for good or bad. And these were positives. And so I do think that is a factor in Eli Manning.
Chris, I've seen a lot of New York players who don't get in the Hall of Fame, don't get support. I hear that all the time. Like, if people want to make the case for Don Mattingly.
Well, the way it's going now, is he done? He can't get in anymore?
No, I can't get in there. It's come and gone. His window. But you know what I mean?
I think with him, he didn't win for the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like, Yankees win.
I get it. They did. And they only made the playoffs his last year, and then he retired. You know what I mean? And then they went on the run without him. And Jeter and those guys, Chris. But I'm just saying, like, if Keith Hernandez played for the Mets, they won a World Series, or iconic World Series. He won 11 straight Gold Gloves. He won a co-MVP, had a co-MVP. There were things that you could make a case. His time running for the Hall of Fame was over briefly. New York didn't help him, and 11 Gold Gloves, the championship, the co-MVP. I just think that it's because. And I get it. You're on a stage, New York. I understand what you're saying, but I believe it's slaying the Patriots and Tom Brady and the throws that he made. Because even the one, you could say David Tyrese, that was lucky. The throw to Manningham up the sideline, an unbelievable throw and catch. And then remember, even the catch to David Tyrese, that didn't win the game, Chris. Passes. You know what I mean? Like, that didn't win the game. He still had to make a throw to win the game.
Yeah, he's got at least one of the most iconic plays in Super Bowl history. So I'm not gonna have an issue with him making it. But
I know
Lamar, there are 10 guys, Rob, who've won at least 2 MVPs Rob G, give us the names. And they're all either in the Hall of Fame, Rob, or they will be first ballot easy Hall of Famers. Rob G, give us the names.
Total of 10 guys, 1 running back. Shout out to Jim Brown. The other 9 are quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, he's going to be in. Aaron Rodgers going to be in. Tom Brady's going to be in. Brett Favre already in. Johnny Unitas already in. Patrick Mahomes going to be in. Kurt Warner already in. Steve Young already in. Joe Montana already in. And now it's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's going to get it, no doubt.
Yeah, I think, like, I'll only throw this out, and that's not really a caveat because I think he's getting in. But if he were to, like, even if they don't win the Super Bowl, even if they lose this weekend, and let's say for whatever reason, Rob, he retired or whatever, or maybe injuries or whatever didn't play, he would be a Hall of Famer. Like Gale Sayers is a Hall of Famer, and Gale Sayers is viewed as one of the greatest running backs ever, even though he had a short career because of injuries. And that would be essentially, I think, the equivalent of Lamar Jackson. I don't think this would keep him out, Rob, because of what we just said about the two MVPs. But let me throw this scenario at you, because this is interesting, because it certainly wasn't as surefire as Lamar. But I thought, and I think most people felt like Russell Wilson was going to be a Hall of Famer. Did you feel that way?
I wasn't there yet. I wasn't there yet. And I
thought he was going to be a Hall of Famer, and it was really because he's, the projection of his career. I was assuming he'd played 5-6 more years at pretty good level.
If he didn't throw that pick against the Patriots, I would have said that, Chris, for sure.
Well, okay.
You know what I mean? Like that, like that would have been back-to-back. And the magnitude of that, you know what I mean, would have definitely.
That'd be huge because nobody's done that in 20 years.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that was a big moment for him there. And boy, can you just imagine how that could affect you long term? Like how close you were?
No, you're right. I mean, maybe if he had done that, he might be. Like now, most people don't feel he's getting in because of what's happened in Denver. Now he could maybe go somewhere and resurrect himself. We'll see. But the only thing I'll throw out, and again, I think because of the 2 MVPs, it probably still gets him in. But let's just say that for whatever reason, not injuries, but just next year and going forward for, say, the next 6-7 years, the rest of his career, Lamar just fell off and didn't play well. We saw it happen to Cam Newton, and I don't think it's going to happen to Lamar. He's not as banged up as Cam and, any of that. But
Cam didn't have 2, though, did he?
No, and that's why I'm wondering. Okay. I'm just saying, like, let's say Russell Wilson is a good example. He's only had 1 really horrible season, and then this year he was okay. But, like, if Lamar just for whatever reason fell off, I wonder if the 2 still gets him in. Probably, like you said, he did something that no one else has done at such a young age. But that's really the only thing. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl, I don't know that would even matter if he fell off. You know what I mean? Like if he fell off for the next 7 years of his career, having 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl, he probably gets in no matter what. Yeah, and he may get in no matter what, just with 2 MVPs.
Yep, and his impact. You know what I mean? Like his impact and what he was able to do, and then like we talked about it, being 9 months younger than Patrick Mahomes. It's just something to hang your hat on. And
the impact, Rob, is look, obviously Jalen Hurts has been a running quarterback, and he got within 4 points of winning the Super Bowl last year. Lamar, though, I really think if he wins this Super Bowl, because Rob, you still hear it. You still hear people saying, Bill Polian, we talked about it last week, said, make him throw. Taylor Lewan came out, offensive lineman, came out and said this week, there's a blueprint for beating him, make him throw. That's no longer the blueprint, guys. But that perception, Rob, is out there. And it probably won't go away until he wins the Super Bowl. But if he does win the Super Bowl, now this whole notion of, running quarterback, he's already put major dents in it, right? The Colts go for Anthony Richardson. Teams going for athletic. Justin Fields, people, he's all the rage because of his running. So he's already put a large dent in that concept that you can't be a running quarterback and win. But this would blow it to
This would be
bits.
the ultimate. No, right. And then there's the impact, Chris, and the legacy. Like that's where you are. And then people will look back in NFL history. Who was really that running quarterback who was able to use his legs, his arm, and become a one-man wrecking crew and win a Super Bowl? It was Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens. And if they win more than one, and, with the defense and the team, Chris, and if they stay together and depending on what happens with the Chiefs.
They should have chances for sure.
Right.
You know
Their
what
defense
I mean?
ain't going anywhere.
And that's a great franchise. You know what I mean? Like they're good pretty much all the time.
Right. They have been. And we talked about it since Lamar showed up. They win 75% of their game.
Right. Like they ain't going nowhere. I mean, I'm not saying they'll necessarily win it next year.
Right.
But they going to be, I would think they're going to have a great chance to win at least another one, if not more.